Hey everybody. Okay, so we're talking about Oh Holy Night in the low key. And our eval does this beautifully. I'm just going to do one verse on, let's do we, and we'll just do one oo vowel at the beginning of every phrase. So after you breathe, come back in with that oo vowel, oo breath in, and that oo vowel at the beginning of your e. All right? This is what it's going to sound like. This is still in the low key. I don't remember if I breathed before, after Oh Holy Night. I don't remember, but let's try it again, and I'll do it with that too, just so that you know. It's hard for me to remember where the breathing is supposed to be unless I'm singing the words. So breathe wherever you want. Maybe you don't need to breathe as much. I don't think I needed to with that eval, kind of guiding and using my breath management in increments a little bit better than when I use all sorts of words. Okay, so a couple things about that. Now it's really easy to get tight when you're singing all on E. So I'm using a lot of really nice support, especially in the front. I'm just really trying to use those intercostal muscles as lightly as I can, but really holding the lower body cavity, those muscles taut, because I really want to stay supported. At the same time, I'm trying to release the jaw. Wherever there's tension in the body, you have to also have release when you're singing. You have to have both. It's really hard to do if it's everything's tense, okay? So you might feel like you're doing the best breath support ever, best breath management ever, but then it gets up here and it's stuck. That's how I can definitely feel with this song, and even worse if it's on an eval. But that's why we're doing it. Okay, now one thing that really helped me that made my life easier with the eval is I didn't have to worry too much about my break. It wasn't a big change from my head voice to my chest voice. That eval kept everything in this really nice mix. I liked that a lot. The oo breath in wasn't enough enough backspace for me to feel like it was a balanced sound, but now I'm going to get into all these beautiful words. Now this song happens to have a lot of oh, ah, like everything's pretty open. I'm just looking ahead to see if that stays that way. Long lay the world. They're not meaning to do that when they write these songs. It just happens to fall into that category. And then we get down to till he appeared, and then we have to deal with the eval. So it's really nice to have that eval ready to go, and then we can warm it up with the ooh and the o, lots of o and ah, which just makes it so warm and rich and beautiful. Now, when it's so warm and rich and beautiful, you really have to make sure that it stays balanced on both sides. That's why we do that eval first, that eval warm up. Fall on your knees. If I stay in my ah vowel, which I love in this, the sound is so great in a song like this, I'm gonna have a hard time with knees. Fall on your knees. I've got to get right back to that eval. So if I've clicked on that eval file, I can get back to it pretty easily. Oh yeah, okay. I'm just looking ahead here. So another thing with this song, and I would say most Christmas songs, is that you have to think about your breathing, your breaths. You have to take your breaths early and often, okay? A lot of Christmas songs, I don't know if maybe they were slower or faster, maybe. You have to really use your breath support to get through the phrases. Now, it looks like, "Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining," and you take a breath. I would take a breath right after "Oh, holy night." Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. And if your organist that you're singing with on Christmas Eve, and Christmas Eve happens to be at midnight, you're right, singing, I have sung "Oh, holy night" so many years at like the stroke of midnight. Well, I'm pretty tired by then. So I have to maybe take a breath. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. You know, I think I know exactly why these Christmas carols are sometimes hard to sing and to breathe through. It's because the words matter. And this is more, think about like a Christmas carol, it's all about the words. And the melody's really great too, but we really need those words to stick out. And so breathe where it makes sense, not where you feel like you just need the breath, okay? Long lay the world, breathe, in sin and error pining. There's another thing about these phrases that are hard. At the end of every phrase, almost every phrase, you have a held note. Pining is only 2 beats, the pine part of pining, but that can really, you have to prepare for it. So you have to look ahead and make sure that you're breathing where you need to. Till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. Whatever you need to do, you can definitely take a breath again at "till he appeared." It actually makes the song much more, you're enunciating more, and it makes it more like a poem. So think about it, food for thought. I think that's about it for technique. Let me tell you something with the high note at the end. I said it earlier that glory is a great thing to sing high. His power, breath, and glory. So I'm doing galore. I'm putting a g, an a vowel, a schwa vowel in between the G and the L. If you do galore, you're gonna tighten your neck. That's a really good technique. And glory. I'm even doing the g lower. It may make you have a little scoop or exciting grace note, but that's okay. People are gonna love it. So make sure that you don't like that. That's harder. And then also my O vowel is a dropped aw. It's not really aw even, but it's this shape, aw. And I am going for that one. And I'm singing an O on the inside. And glory. Then you get to E and smile on it. Now this version says re on only 1 note. I always do it on 2. Glory! Because I like my eval, I like to find it and really use it and hear it, and then I like to breathe right after that. So if you only do 1, it sounds like this. Glory! It's just too much going on. Sorry for the crack. There's just too much going on. It makes it sound rushed and hurried. So I like the two notes better. I'll show you what that sounds like with the higher key. We'll use all those same things. Oh, one more thing, one more technique thing about that glory. I said it earlier in the previous video, and the and being an octave lower can really, really help us so much. This is like my own little trampoline technique. So I'm using the low F to find a really nice low breath and start low and not go high with the high note. I'm gonna keep everything, you're sort of setting your posture, setting your technique, letting everything be nice and relaxed, and then all you're doing is you're reaching out on the same level for that high note versus and glow and reaching for it and making it really tight. Okay, so here's power and glow. I'm not reaching for anything at all. I'm just using everything, keeping it in that same place as the low, and that makes it feel really good. I didn't crack that time. Okay, thanks everyone. I'm gonna do an accompaniment only for both the low key and the high key. Hope you enjoyed that nice low key, you altos.